Two, it's not, normal.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think that the path will have you on, we have to work on it. All right, so we're down to new business. We have one item on the agenda, which is to discuss the Pierce Township 2027 budget.
Yep.
Debbie, I'll let you kick off. Will you be participating or no?
Just your question.
Okay, cool. I don't think that we have to swear anybody in that's on this side, only if there were people in the audience. So we might have to swear you in, since this is a public hearing. Or not. We could do that too, but I don't think it's been warranted, but Debbie, go ahead.
You guys all did receive the budget, and hopefully you reviewed them all. I worked with all the departments, getting their numbers on what they're wanting, trying to stay within their budgets, their lines, not for too much overspending. A few of them I had to use, carryover balances in some of them, like road and bridge, permissive. But it wasn't a whole lot.
Right.
It's, I really tweaked, and we all did. We all worked hard on tweaking those numbers, get them down. So they're the ones that really worked on their budget numbers, and I think they did really well.
Now, the budget that I saw did not include, remember one of the last times that we talked, we were having our work sessions, going over each of the individual, kind of.
Oh, I bet you didn't get it because of your email.
Probably, I mean, I did get it, I got the budget, I just didn't, the one thing that we discussed that I didn't see included was, and would not have been, it's not an oversight.
Okay.
I didn't mean to imply that. We did discuss the idea of, with some of the major transportation projects, the infrastructure projects, trying to get those moved forward so we could get a 630,000 for the major projects, get that done. And I didn't know whether we still want to go that route, if we want to discuss that a little bit before we put this to bed, which would be an addendum to the actual budget. But,
And I can always do that. I can always send them an amended budget to them.
right. So I just wanted to make sure we discussed that possibility of at least exploring it further, because we're not going to be able to do anything with it, right now. You're not going to take anything out to the construction bid right now. So we probably aren't even looking at anything until 2027. But nonetheless, I think having a strategy put in place to go take care of that,
Forward.
I think that would be a good use of our time.
Yeah.
And maybe have that ready to go by, I don't know, guys, the next board meeting, the board meeting after that.
Yeah, it would sort of just be tweaking one number, right? You'd have to just take the expenses for that particular year and get them up to where we anticipate they would be, 6 whatever. And, we could even have, 2, but it should just be a couple numbers in the spreadsheet, I would think.
But what we'll have to do is double check through legal counsel to make sure that if we're tapping into some of these tips, how far we can spread those tips, across the township. We can always make the justification, that somebody's car is going to be using that road to get to X place, and that's where the TIF is. But that's something that we'll have to have a strategy for that as well, so that we're not questioned about it later on. We make sure that it's done appropriately,
Right.
and legally.
And we've been historically able to use funds from the Walmart TIF for roads in that sort of area, I think.
Special on a house bill that they had sent out a few years ago that we were able to use 25%.
So hopefully we'll at least, but it'd be good to check and know exactly
Yeah, I
if
just
we
wanna
can
know
and can't do.
if we pass a piece of legislation that says we want to spend $630,000, I want to make sure that someone's not going to come back later on and say, we audited and said, how'd you do that?
Yeah.
So that way we've got it buttoned down. We put that in the file with our expenditures or with our resolution. And that way everything's brought into compliance. So You just want to
But-
make sure we've got that, and that's probably gonna take the longest piece of time, because we have to get the legal counsel to approve it.
And then I think, then once they approve it, then we could sit down and go over those numbers,
Right.
which would be good.
And see what we do have inside those TIFs that's unencumbered at the moment. So we can get out there and just get those done. And theoretically, if you do your job right in one, those projects should be, those roads should be good to go for another 20 years. No, I hope so. Counting on it. But at least we get those off the docks. Cause I fear that there's gonna be some significant issues coming forward. With regard to, property taxes and things like
With
that.
that.
And so if the worst comes to worst, at least we got that off of our board. And then there's the other thing about talking to some of our larger employers about getting into a JED with us. So that's something that Eddie, you and I need to talk about further. So we can get them, get those guys locked in on an agreement. So we can present it to you guys. As a real proposal, not just something theoretical.
Have you talked to them at all?
I think Eddie and I have talked a little bit to the nursing home. I had a brief conversation with some folks at Kroger who weren't the decision makers, but
Oh,
need to get it to the decision
Like the
makers.
lady checking you out.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, do you like the idea of a JED?
Right.
She was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
whatever. Like,
Just,
what is he doing?
just pay and go. Yeah.
Nursing home is, we don't get a whole lot of other way to offset the services that we use over there.
Mhm.
I mean, if worse comes to worse, and we did lose the property tax, moving forward sooner rather than later to lay out a strategy to balance the way we're receiving revenue would make a lot of sense. I mean, a big chunk of our revenue, almost 90% of it's coming from property tax. So that leaves out gas tax and plate fees and that sort of thing, but everything else is all property tax. So
Yeah.
balancing that out so that we're getting some other revenue stream. So if property taxes go away in 2027, or they're significantly altered, I think that's something that we need to have that to step off
Yeah.
on to help offset costs. Plus, we also have marijuana money coming in.
They
Soon,
got their sign up.
Shangri-La,
Wow.
it seems to be close to being open, so. If they're not open, are they already open, Eddie? Shangri-La. Soft opening. Wonder what that's like. I see what's just, I mean, whenever we have a restaurant open, we get samples. Right? They invite us in, they feed us, nothing from these guys.
I know.
Guess I don't.
Craigo.
Anyway, that's all I really wanted to add to our discussion. Is there anything else we want to go over?
If you have any questions for them, I don't know if you do, they're here and eager and waiting.
Well, Chief Brockman, you're adding police officers.
Yes, so I know we're talking about 2027. But I'd like to back up a minute, because if you look at 2026, we're on a pace to have total expenses by the end of the year about 2.7. And the average expenses for the past 4 years has been about 3.2. So that will help us with the carryover moving forward. But as far as 2027, if we get back up to a full complement and then add one additional officer, our 2027 projection is 3.3, which is still pretty darn good considering 3.2 has been the average expense over the past 4 years.
I'm our numbers look good. We're in a good place. I continue to worry about our maintenance costs, being up. So we get busier, our stuff gets a little bit older, the maintenance is higher. Ohio Township should have their new ambulance in, at the end of this month, hopefully, which will help. Our new ambulance that was approved in 25 should be in hopefully the late first quarter of 27. So that'll be good. One of my other big concerns is fuel prices being up the way they are. I mean, our trucks just aren't fuel efficient. So we've tried to consolidate some trips and stress upon our folks to be mindful of that. The downside with ours and the medications and stuff, when they're out of the building, the trucks have to run because of the heat. We are knocking on wood, at full staff. We've not been at full-time staff in a long time. So trying to use the rest of this year to kind of get a snapshot of where that is in relation to where we've been. Overtime's continued to trend down as we knew it would. So I think things are looking okay for us, being mindful of some of the other things going on in the area that could impact the services that we may or may not deliver, and neighboring communities, and just how all that works. Mutual aid's busy for everybody. Like, we're all constantly backfilling each other, and just run volume around the county's just exploded over the last year or two, which is only going to get a little bit worse as we see more growth and the nursing home opens up. We're anticipating that to be 200-300 more runs a year. Hopefully not, but
That is exciting.
Yeah.
What you got for us, Tom?
I think we're looking okay. I know we are looking to get more staff. And then also cemetery. I know we had talked about raising some prices on the cemetery, so we put a couple things together for that. So I think we really need to see what route we want to go with that and how much we want to do. So, but I think that's the biggest one. And then, like I said, getting on full staff, we've been getting kind of slammed this year with these storms that come out of nowhere, and then we're falling behind on other stuff. So, but other than that, I think we're looking pretty good.
You guys are short, what, 2 staff right now?
Yeah, we have, well, yeah. We have 3 on kind of each got right now.
Patty, how's your department coming along there, dude? Administration, budget wise? Inside millage? Inside millage?
Yeah, I guess it's sorry, are you talking about?
No, I'm just moving to a new department, planning and
Oh, sure.
administration and.
No, we're in good shape. There's nothing that's cash out recommended that's concerned. The only thing that really, I would point your attention to is just cemetery lots. The target that we recommended was around 200. We could spend around that level. That would really start to pull those on the plane, so to speak, in cemetery. But otherwise, that was the only thing that really jumped out. That was potentially concerned.
What would be the long-term strategy for the cemetery when the spaces fill? Do we have one, or just?
That's a great question. We're not speaking about that. So there's kind of a multi-pronged approach. Right now, we're always kind of doing kind of the first prong, which is the more aggressive pricing increase. Because right now, we're getting a lot of spillover from other cemeteries that address increase their pricing. The other thing that's happening is bringing the setups in-house, which is a cost that is borne by the customer, the resident, regardless. But it's something we can do in-house and actually eliminate a cap. We already helped that already. But the other part
Pause real quick with
Yeah.
with the price raising. You guys may have to just go ahead and do that, and I wouldn't be too worried or shy about people that don't like it, because some people aren't going to like it. They're not going to like the increase, but there's a certain cost of doing business and maintaining that cemetery to a certain standard, as we've seen. And we're going to continue to have to incur those costs in perpetuity, essentially. So that's for what it's worth, just so you know my opinion on the price increasing. People oftentimes don't understand what goes into maintaining that cemetery and how long of a horizon we have as far as our costs are concerned. So just wanted to throw that in there real quick so you have my view on that.
That was your first question. Norman have a preliminary discussion about planning the future space. There's, of course, the corner of, at Locust Corner here, there's a lot of, that's unused. We don't have any preconceived notion one way or the other, but it is something that everyone has brought to our attention, say, probably the next 6 to 12 months, we really probably need to be looking at longevity of the cemetery as pertains to space, whether or not we want to.
So essentially your guys' strategy is a Ponzi scheme, just find more earth and and eventually we end up with so much maintenance that we all collapse under the weight of the cemetery maintenance expenses.
They're great neighbors.
It really is one of those constant.
Yeah. I'm half kidding, but yeah.
Yeah. But it's a good question, and Steve Wright had some of these conversations too, where we talk about things, just in passing about where the trees, where the bricks, benches, things like that, that we, theoretically could take advantage of it. These are older conversations that we had, but everyone kind of, we look at it every day, so we think about it every day. And there are things we can do to generate revenue and things like that,
Okay.
to be creative, but it's definitely a whole conversation that we can have. And it's really high on priority.
I think one of the, it kicked off a few years ago, when we had a state cap discussion and we applied for a veterans and public safety memorial somewhere over there. To potentially have paper walkways and pathways that kind of tie into the Parks Master Plan. People can buy bricks as a source of, some revenue to help upkeep some of that area, kind of ties the park to the cemetery.
Those are good ideas.
How are we doing on the columbariums? Are they popular? Are they selling rapidly, or are they just, what's the story with that?
Norm can provide all the better detail than I can, but I know for sure that the lower levels tend to sell out very quickly. The top levels seem to drag a little bit. And so one thing we have kind of thrown around with some maybe potential dynamic pricing to consider, that's what it.
So like a Red Stadium, kind of a upper tier.
Just, we were just kind of toying with the idea, but from my understanding is that they do pretty well.
Yeah, we sell them in order, so we don't jump them around, so we start one end and work our way down. I think we may have on the first columbarium maybe 7 left, if that. So we're getting ready to move on to the next one, but they really go in spurts, like we'll get slammed with them and like, oh man, here we go, and then all of a sudden we go 1 or 2 and not get one. So it's been really spurty over the years, like it's not been real consistent.
Right. How many do we have left open at this point?
Well, we purchased a new one, I think, last year, so I think there's 48 in it, and we have like maybe 6 or 7 left in the first one.
Right. Anything else, guys? All right, you're next, Christine.
I defer to any conversations for the.
Thank you, Christine. We're just checking to see how honest you were. Flying colors.
You didn't think you're gonna be able to sit here and not get called on, right? At least, is it your birthday? Yeah, because we would, I would happily sing happy birthday to anybody in this room that is having a birthday. It's been done before.
Not only the correct.
All right, so anything else you guys want to discuss about the budget? Any concerns? Chief Roxman seems to have something. Oh.
When you were talking about the construction budget before. You were talking about more of roads and everything. Naturally, we're interested in doing some upgrades to the building, namely the bathrooms and, could we get that slated before the end of the year?
Well, I think that we had this discussion the last meeting, or do we have it like one of the work sessions, we did discuss that. And looking at some of the TIF money, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. We have TIF money that is kind of swirled away inside the TIFs. how much of that can we pull out? You know, and meet our commitments to what we're already using it for, but then also meet the commitment for the things we need to get done.
Right.
Deferred maintenance on the building, with some of the roadway projects that we need to move forward with. I mean, right now, the not the Prestwick tip, but the Walmart tip has nearly $2 million in it. So being able to pull some of that out for some of, some of our priority projects. And again, it just kind of comes down to, we just need to get blessing from legal counsel to say, we can use it for this or we can use it for that. And then that way, I think we can take it and move it toward those projects.
Great.
The roadway will be a little bit more difficult. I think, if I remember correctly, the Walmart tip does say a police station, fire station built somewhere in that vicinity. I mean, if we kind of stretch the credulity, we could say, well, it does say fire and police, so. So, that might be something, but from previous conversations that we've had, I understand from Brenda Weimer, our counsel, that we can amend a TIF. So if we can amend the Walmart TIF to say something different, then perhaps it makes it a little bit easier. But that, I mean, I think that's what was on our mind as well, not just the road, but all those commitments.
Yeah, we had also talked about going ahead and getting back, let the last meeting get with Branstetter, Carroll. So I think we need a timeline on this police renovation thing, because these guys are they're crammed in there a little bit. He's trying to keep that department staffed and having a hard time doing so. And I mean, within reason, I want to put our best foot forward. We're not going to do the full big building expansion, all that $10-20 million project, obviously. So I think it's completely within reason to go ahead and essentially commit to make some level of internal commitment to essentially moving forward. Not that we're saying, oh yeah, we're going to make these improvements and we're approving the expense. Just we're committed to continuing to push forward with this thing until we get these renovations made, and we'll find the money somehow to do it. And I think we have enough in the police budget even to do some minor reservation. So maybe we could do a dual path thing here, because we got to get with Brenda to check on the TIF money for the roads anyway. And so we could check with the TIF stuff. I think it's absolutely a great idea. We get TIF money for this. It takes a lot of pressure off you and your budget. If we can't, we could still move forward. But at the same time, maybe if we could make sure that before not next week, but the next meeting, we get with Branstetter, Carroll, and we start getting some ideas on exactly what these renovations are going to look like, and and then eventually some price tags on these, on a couple options or something by the end of the year, I think is reasonable. And there's no reason why we can't move forward on that part and then check on the TIF piece as well, because I think we're going to end up needing to do something regardless of the TIF money. But I think that the likelihood that we're able to use TIF money is pretty high, more than likely. So,
But if we're sitting there just kind of back of the napkin kind of estimation, we have nearly 2 million in the Walmart TIF. We have what, 3 or 4 Prestwick TIFs, and I think we probably are sitting with about close to 1 million in those together. So we could be sitting on somewhere in the order of, $2 to $2.5 million that we could put toward Norm's $630,000 projects, as well as, based on what Branstetter Carroll might tell us, a sizable, I think, renovation of this building as well. But we also have to make sure that we maintain, because we do have projects already cycling off of some of those tips. So we have to sit down and figure that out from a financial architecture. How do we lay that out so we can get most of our priorities addressed?
I'll say that you guys work on this budget and everything this year has been outstanding. I mean, that's what's allowed these conversations to happen and us to be able to plan more precisely and move forward on some of this stuff. And you guys did it. I know everything hasn't been perfect, but it's been very helpful. I think it's been a great exercise and very beneficial, particularly for me, because not being in here every day, I don't have that intuitive sense of your guys' budgets, on a year-to-year basis. So I appreciate it. You guys did an excellent job with the budget stuff.
All right, based on that, if there's nothing further, then let's do the public comment, open floor discussion presentations. My microphone was not on that entire time, was it? Great. Seeing none, I guess we're up to adjournment. Let's-
Make the motion to adjourn?
We have a motion to adjourn. Second, Debbie, roll call, please.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And we're up.
Here.
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 What time was the next one supposed to be?
It's just said after the first one.
Just after, so we can roll. All right, Pledge of Allegiance. Norm, you're gonna get a second chance. Let's hear it. Happy, come on. Upbeat. All right.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Still needs work. Still needs work, but we'll get there. We'll get there. All right, so this meeting is the follow-up meeting to the budget hearing that we just ended. Because there were no major changes to the budget structurally or otherwise, we now move into new business, which Debbie Schwei, if you could take it away from here.
Okay, I request a motion to approve the 2027 Pierce Township budget.
All right,
So moved?
Second.
we have a motion and a second. Do we have any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mr. Freeman.
Yes, now we have a sneaky one. Chief Wright has a motion he'd like us to consider. Chief Wright, would you like to elucidate?
I request a motion to offer more rear suspension air conditioning system with Atlantic Works Solutions in the amount of $6,358.31.
Motion.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Shepherd,
Yes.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Freeman.
Yes, okay, now we go to public comment, open floor discussion and presentations. Hearing none, we'll move on to adjournment.
Motion to adjourn?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Kelly,
Yes.
Mr. Shepherd,
Yes.
and Mr. Freeman.
Yes, there we go.